I'd like to share with you in this week's Parshas, וזאת, הברכה, something very nice from the Rebbe's father, Rabbi Levi Yitzchok Zatzal. The end of this week's Parshas, we have about the burial of Moshe Rabbeinu, and it says he was buried mul across from Beis Peor, from the idol worship of Peor. The Gemara and the Mishnah in Masechta Sanhedrin, Daf Samach Amar Aleph, Amud Beis, describes this type of Avodah Zarah is that people would come and they would make bowel movements. They would leave feces in front of this idol worship. That was the type of service that they did. There is a beautiful, interesting medrash in Medrash Rabbah on the Pasuk in the Megillah. Ish Yehudi hoya b'Shoshana Bira. Mordechai's name was Mordechai. And the Medrash says over there, Mordechai in his generation was like Moshe in his generation. We see a correlation, a connection between Mordechai and Moshe. Comes Rabbi Yitzchok and says that the hint over here in this pasuk, Mul Beis Peor, that the schus of Moshe Rabbeinu, and this was the Mordechai in his generation who was like Moshe, he protected us from Haman. And the Gzeira of Haman is hinted in Peor, both in the type of idol worship it was, and also in the letters of Peor, Pei, Ayin, Vav, Resh, in a very beautiful way. First of all, we mentioned that the Avodah Zarah was that they used to make bowel movements in front of this Avodah Zarah. In Hebrew, that's called Soya, Tzadik Aleph Hey. Tzadik Aleph Hey adds up to 96. And that's also the same numerical value as Haman, Hey Mem Nun is 95, with the koil, with the general word, is 96. So Tsoya and Haman add up together. And that was the Avodah Zarah from Peor. Moshe, Mul Peor, Moshe and Mordechai connected. They were here to protect us from Haman. Look how beautiful are the letters of Peor. If you take out the letter Ayin, you have Pei Vav Resh for poor. Haman Hipul poor. He threw the lottery against the Jewish people and it came out as Gezerah. So that's the letters of poor. Now look how beautiful the letter Ayin. It says in the Pirish in the Medrash, it says there are if you look in the Megillah, from when the Gzeira happened, came out in the Megillah, till 70 psukim later, that's when we have from the first letter, when the Gzeira came out, till the second letter of Achashverosh to save the Jewish people, was exactly 70 psukim. Rabbi Yitzchok adds a very nice twist too. Not only is it 70 psukim exact if you count in the Megillah, from when the first letter came out till the second letter, the first letter was about the Gzeira, but also it was 70 days. The Gzeira came out on Yud Gimel Nisan, the 13th day of Nisan. That was the first letter to kill the Jewish people, Chas v'Shalom. The second letter, to annul the first letter, means the saving of the Jewish people, and they should stand up for their rights, happened on Chov Gimel Sivan, the 23rd day of Sivan. If you count from the 13th day of Nisan till Chov Gimel Sivan, it's 70 days exactly. So we have over here in the Ayin, which is 70, two hints. Number one, from the first posuk of this Gezerah, the first letter, till the second Igrois, the second letter taking away the Gzeira from Achashverosh, is 70 psukim. And also, it was exactly, if you look at those psukim, it was exactly 70 days. And that's the Ayin. So we have in the word Peor, you have poor for the lottery of the Gzeira of Haman, that lasted 70 days. So in the word of Peor, we have over here the Gzeira of Purim. And Moshe Rabbeinu was Mul Beis Peor, Mordechai, Bedoiroi, Moshe Bedoiroi, just like Moshe was buried against Peor for that Avodah Zarah. Many years later also, Mordechai and Moshe, they were against Mul Beis Peor to protect us and from this terrible Gzeira, from this poor, the Gzeira of Haman, which adds up to the Avodah Zarah of Peor Tzoya, which lasted only for 70 days. So we see how beautiful this remez is, that he was buried one against the other. We once spoke about in the past too, he was buried on the Har Nevoy, and it's a hint, as the Arizal brings Nun Boy, he reached up to the 50th gate, which also corresponds to the against Haman who wanted to build the gallows on 50 amos. But here in the remez, we want to focus this week on Pur Ayin, the Gezerah of Purim, and Moshe and Mordechai protect us from that terrible Gezerah.